Welcome everyone, I'm Dr. McNabb. Wanted to take an opportunity to go over a few things. Number one, we want you to know exactly how to read and interpret your x-rays. It's really, really important that everybody truly understand what's going on with their x-rays, with their spine, what everything means, and really maybe even more importantly, how to get the best results and really why we are doing what we're doing. Because it's not just to treat symptoms. And to be totally honest with you, there are a lot of other things out there and other people and other modalities that can help you treat symptoms and temporarily feel better. We want to help you find and fix the true root cause of the problem. We want to help you maximize your health potential to be able to do anything and everything that it is that you want to do. So first of all, when you look at your x-rays from the side view, when you're looking at your neck from the side, your spine, your neck needs to have this 45-degree arc, and your spine, of course, from the back to the front needs to be perfectly straight. Now, on our x-rays and on your x-rays, position-wise, you're going to be facing the same direction, and this is going to be from the back. So this is going to be your right side, this is going to be your left side. This is exactly how it looks like on your films and on your x-rays. With your lower back as well, you want there to be a nice curve in it. Again, a 45-degree arc. You want there to be a large space in between each of these vertebrae. That's, of course, where the disc or the intervertebral disc is. And then again, on the lower back, you want your spine to be straight up and down. You want your hips to be perfectly level. In this position, the whole reasoning behind your spine needing to be in this position is because this is the position that your spine is doing its job and doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is protect your spinal cord and your nerves. Your nervous system is so incredibly important. It controls all healing and functioning to your entire body. It's what tells your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, and the food to digest. And in order for your brain to be able to communicate effectively, your spine has to be in this position. When you look at your nervous system, this is what's called a nerve chart or a Merrick chart, and it just shows where the nervous system, where your brain, how it controls your thyroid, heart, lungs, liver, spleen, kidneys, gallbladder, digestive systems, arms, legs, eyes, ears, nose, throat. Your nervous system controls everything in the human body. It's actually very fascinating if you think about it. In order for your heart to beat, your brain has to send signals down the spinal cord through the nerves. Now, I always kind of joke with people and say, we're not wireless. We don't have any Bluetooth or Wi-Fi inside. We're more like a landline, right? So we're connected through the spinal cord and nerves. And the only way your body knows how to heal and function is through your nervous system. And so your spine has to be in that proper position in order for your brain to get the messages down to tell the heart to beat and function in your lungs, and every single organ, system, tissue, gland in the human body is controlled via your nervous system. Now, we talked a little bit about symptoms. Again, there's a lot of other things you can do to treat your symptoms, but our focus is to help get to the root cause of the issue. And so what happens, hypothetically speaking, of course, what happens if we take from the spinal cord to the nerves that go to your heart? What happens if we were to cut those nerves that go to your heart? What happens to your heart? Immediately it stops working. It dies. You have to have that constant flow of communication from your brain to every part of your body for it to heal and function. Now, instead of cutting those nerves, what happens if we just damage them or pinch them or irritate them? My question to you is your heart going to heal and function at 100% capacity if there's damage somewhere along the line? And hopefully the correct answer, you answered, hopefully is no. It's not going to function correctly. And so that's what we see on a consistent basis here in our office, because we focus more on the spine and the nervous system, is that for a lot of people, the things that they've gone through, car accidents, traumas, sports, technology, phones, computers, all these things, it is ruining and destroying your spine, and that is ruining and destroying the nervous system. And since your nervous system controls all health and healing in the human body, it's actually where health comes from. Health is actually defined as 100% function, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. In order for your body to be truly healthy, you need to be functioning at 100%. And at the other end of the spectrum, death, of course, would be 0%. The research actually shows in order for your body to experience any symptom whatsoever, you have to lose 40% function of that organ, cell, tissue, gland, section area of the body. Now, your symptoms are really just a fire alarm going off. Your symptoms are your body's warning signs of expression saying something inside isn't quite right, there's something wrong. Now, if the fire alarms start going off in this building, I would immediately assume, there's a fire, right? Something is setting off the fire alarm. Now, what's interesting is if I light one match, it's not gonna set off the fire alarm. Probably not, at least I hope not. But if I light like maybe 20 or 30 matches, or if there's a fire in here, the accumulation of smoke is what sets off the fire alarm. That's how it works in the human body. You oftentimes don't feel the little things, just a little bit of dysfunction or a little bit of issue or problem in an organ, cell, tissue, gland, a part of the body, but it takes an accumulation for you to now feel the symptom, just like a fire alarm. And so what happens now? What do most doctors do? What do most people do when they have symptoms? They have the headaches or the migraines or the neck issues or the sciatica or numbness and tingling or the heart palpitations or the problems. What do most people do when they have a symptom is they try to cover the symptom. They try to mask it with some sort of pill, some sort of cream or ointment, or they go to the doctor and they run some tests and they give you a prescription medication. Does that pill or lotion or cream or ointment or whatever it is, does that ever get to the true root cause of the problem? Again, the answer is no. It does not. It does not ever fix what's actually causing the problem in the first place. And so what happens is that's like taking the batteries out of the fire alarm. That's all that is. If you just go hit the fire alarm with a hammer to smash it or take the batteries out, yeah, you silence the fire alarm, but the fire alarm is not the problem. The problem is the fire. So something inside, so we're masking our symptoms with some sort of pill or cream or ointment. Meanwhile, the true root cause of the problem is not getting better. It's unfortunately getting worse. Because when you take that pill or take that cream or ointment or whatever it is, and you're just masking the symptom, you're not increasing function. So you're not getting your body in a better, more optimal state of health and healing. You're just masking the symptom. And yes, I get a little fired up about that because I think it's wrong. I think there is an injustice going on in our system, in our media, in society, in doctors and hospitals. They are so heavily focused on treating your symptom. And that's a big, big problem because it's leading to this devastating health crisis. I mean, in America, we have more chronic illness than any other country on the planet. Spain, Germany, France, China, Italy, all less chronic illness than we have right here in America. It's because we're so focused on treating the symptoms. So we're gonna change that, okay? We can't just treat the symptoms. We have to actually increase function by getting to the root cause of the problem, right? And so again, I already spoiled, but the definition of health, if you didn't know, is 100% function of every organ, cell, tissue, gland in the body, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity, which basically means forget your symptoms. It doesn't matter how you look or how you feel. Health is defined as 100% function. And again, this is where we're at. We need to be functioning over here at 100%. And your nervous system, your brain, the spinal cord nerves is what causes and controls all healing, all function in the human body. Now again, looking at your x-rays from the side view of your neck here, this is exactly how your spine, how your neck needs to be curved at 45 degrees. Now, I found this out the hard way. When I was a kid, I had a lot of headaches, shoulder issues. I played a lot of sports and got injured a lot. And every time I had a headache, my parents would just give me a Motrin or Tylenol or ibuprofen. I went to the pediatrician and complained about headaches once, and he basically just said, oh, you'll grow out of it. It's just a phase. Well, I didn't grow out of it. My headaches got worse. And by the time I was in high school, I started getting migraines. By the time I'm in college, I was studying to be a mechanical engineer on a lot of computer courses, AutoCAD programming, and I was getting a lot of migraines. It got to a point where I was basically getting a migraine every other day. My shoulder was bothering me, my neck was kind of bothering me, and so I was just having all these problems. And every time I went to a doctor, they just wrote me a prescription for more pills. I was trying massages and stretching, and nothing was really working. And so I went to go see a neurologist. The neurologist did CTs, MRIs of my head, my brain, and an MRA, which is like an angiogram, which is looking at the blood vessels in my neck and in my head and around my brain. And they didn't find anything wrong. They basically said, oh, the test came out negative, but we're not really sure what's causing your migraines, so why don't you try this migraine medication? And so here I am, 20 years old, on now 3 different prescription medications, all for one real problem, with no real solutions or answers. Now, I didn't know any differently, so I took those medications because that's what I was listening to my doctors. I was doing what I thought I was supposed to do. Well, fast forward, I'm still getting migraines. I'm still getting the headaches. I'm having to leave class early. I'm not able to study as much as I want. And so I'm not doing very well at this point in school. And so I'm leaving class one day. My friend Mark, he sat next to me in a lot of my classes. He says, I'm going to leave with you and we're going to go see my chiropractor. And I'm like, no, that doesn't really make sense. I don't have back problems. Like, I have migraines. I just didn't put the pieces together and understand that chiropractic could actually help somebody with migraines, because I had never heard of that. And so we left. We actually got in his car. I thought he was going to drive us home, but he ended up driving to his chiropractor, and he got me in right away. The chiropractor did an x-ray of my neck. And like the whole time, I'm like, why are you looking at my neck? Like I was upset and I had a migraine, so I wasn't in a very good mood. And so what happened was he took an x-ray of my neck and then he showed me. He showed me right away. And this was my x-ray of my neck. Now, again, on the x-rays, you're supposed to have this 45-degree arc. The red lines are me. So you can see my neck is going the wrong direction. And he points at that x-ray, and then there was some issues up here at C1. This one's supposed to be 31 degrees. That's C1, that's the very top bone of your spine. And he says, he looks at my x-ray and he says, this is what's causing your migraines, and all we have to do is fix it and your migraines will go away. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense, because my neurologist didn't tell me that, my other doctor, my pediatrician, like no other doctors mentioned this to me, so I don't get it. Like it still wasn't clicking. It wasn't making any sense to me. But I thought at the time, I'm like, I'm having these migraines. I'm taking these medications. Like I have no other choice, right? Like I have to do something else, because I wasn't quite sure what to do. And so I started going. I was going 3 times a week. I was doing a lot of the at-home stuff, traction things, neck orthotics, all kinds of stuff. I put in a lot of work, but in 2 months, my migraines completely went away. They were gone. I stopped taking all the medication that I had been given, and I kept going. In 3 months after, this was my first one. This was my first x-ray. 3 months later, we took another x-ray, and that was my follow-up x-ray. My life was completely different. I was in a better mood. I was going to class and staying the whole time. I was studying. I was going out with my friends and enjoying being in college. My life was so incredibly different. And when I saw that follow-up x-ray, I was just something hit me, and I'm like, I got to do this. Like, I don't want to do engineering anymore, because that's what I was going to school for at Michigan State, was mechanical engineering. I'm like, I want to change my major, and I want to become a chiropractor to help people like this guy helped me. Okay, so we're going to jump right back into the x-rays, and I wanted to just go over again kind of what you're looking at. Now, this isn't an actual x-ray, it's kind of a model, but it's a close-up model, because I want you to understand what we're looking for is when your spine, again, is in normal, proper alignment, it is surrounding and protecting the spinal cord and the nerves correctly and properly. When you have a misalignment of the spine, if this bone shifts backwards, or if you have a bend or a turn or a twist or anything structurally abnormal with your spine, what that's doing is it's starting to damage or put pressure on or pinch. A lot of people call it pinch nerves. It starts to pinch the nerves that come out from the spinal cord, and it may even disrupt or damage the spinal cord itself. It also alters the biomechanics of your spine. It causes the discs to slip, bulge, or herniate. It makes it more susceptible to do that, so it causes those disc issues. Fun fact, actually, people that have disc issues 100% of the time have structural malposition or misalignment problems in their spine. And so the proper medical terminology for this is called a vertebral subluxation. Basically, it just means that when the spine shifts out of alignment, starts to damage the pressure, or damage the spine, or put pressure on the nerves and the discs, and it causes problems. And of course, everybody always asks, well, how did my spine get that way? How did this happen to me? Well, for most of you, we just met, maybe once or twice at the most. And so I don't know, everything that you've been through, but I do know that these are just some of the most common things. And honestly, it could start from the birth process, because I don't know about you, but I went through the birth process, and I'm pretty sure you did too. That could be traumatic. Or if you've given birth yourself, if you're a mom, you know very well that could be a very traumatic process. It's very hard on yourself, and it could be hard on the baby as well. And so just that can be one of the things. But also, we do a lot of technology nowadays. We're on our phones, computers, tablets, just sitting with kind of improper positioning and posture can do that to your spine. Sleeping poorly, sports injuries, falls, and even car accidents. And a lot of people think, well, I haven't had any major sports injuries or major car accidents. Yale actually did a study. It was a review of the literature. And what they found was that 8.2 miles per hour was enough of an impact, not necessarily to destroy your car, but to misalign or mess up your spine. It was actually looking at the impacts of low impact collisions and auto insurance and how it messes up your car. But basically what they found is even if your car wasn't messed up in the accident, it could have messed up your spine. And so unfortunately it happens a lot of time. Whiplash type injuries or even slower impact injuries can cause this kind of stuff. And so, whether your spine is curved like this or going the wrong direction like mine was, or misaligned, twisted, curved, slipped backwards, forwards, whatever the misalignment is, we want to start to work to structurally correct it so we can optimize and increase the function and healing of the nervous system. When you look at things like scoliosis, any kind of curvature in the spine that measures above 10 degrees, that's classified and considered to be scoliosis. And there's different measurements and kind of characteristics for that classifications. We want to make sure your spine is in proper positioning. And so again, when you look at your spine, here's how it should be. Now I'm going to go over a couple examples, right? I'm going to show you some real life examples so you can kind of get an idea of what this looks like and kind of what this whole process is like, and kind of the outcomes and the goals for our care and for your care, so that when you come back, we review the game plan, show you your x-rays. Again, you know exactly what you're looking at, and you at least have some kind of insight as to what this process might look like. So again, this is normal. This is what you need to see, 45-degree arc in the neck. This is Kelly's x-ray. So now that you're all trained radiologists and you know exactly how to read x-rays, you can see and start to look at what's the problem with Kelly's x-ray. So 45 degrees is normal. Her x-ray is the red lines. Her spine is going the wrong direction. -9 to be exact, -9 degrees out of a positive 45. Her neck is going the wrong way. It's called reverse cervical lordosis, if you want the proper name. Essentially, what's going on is her neck is going the wrong way, doing a lot of damage to the spinal cord, to the nerves, and all the muscles, ligaments, tendons, the biomechanics of her spine. Now, Kelly comes in because she's in a lot of pain. She's had neck pain for years. She sits at a computer for work 8 to 10 hours a day, tries to take breaks as much as possible, but she has 3 kids at home, so she works, she comes home, cooks, cleans, does it all over again, rinse and repeats. And she's been struggling for years. She tried massages, acupuncture, creams, ointments, stretching, yoga on the weekends, tries to exercise during the week and walk as much as possible. But like a lot of people, she's really struggling to kind of balance like her health and taking care of herself and her job and taking care of her 3 kids. She went to the doctor, specifically her primary care specifically for her neck pain, and her primary care doctor prescribed her another medication on top of the 5 medication that she was already on. She was already on other medication for her thyroid. She wasn't sleeping well. She doesn't have a lot of energy throughout the day. I mean, she's been really struggling. And so we were going through this process looking at her spine, and I said, Kelly, all those medications, those are just masking the symptom. None of them are fixing the actual root cause. Why don't we take a look at your spine and see if we can find out what's actually causing the problem? And so we did. There's her x-ray. And so we got started, just like I did way back in 2003, we got started correcting her spine and fixing it. And in just a few, 6 months actually, she's off. Not only is her pain gone, but she's off all medication. She was on thyroid medication. She was on blood pressure, fatigue, stimulants. She was on sleeping medication, all because her spine was going the wrong direction. Her body didn't have those symptoms because her body had a lack of any of those medications. And maybe you're questioning or asking, what does your thyroid have to do with anything? If we go back to that chart, in fact, I'll go back all the way so I can show you on the chart. Your thyroid is right here, right? It's this gland that's responsible for hormones. It's very synergistically innervated to all your endocrine system and your hormones, and it helps to produce thyroid hormone, T3, T4, TSH. And what's happening is when the spine is going the wrong direction, it's putting pressure on these nerves right here. And whatever's at the other end of those nerves is going to suffer. And the easiest analogy that I always like to use, it doesn't matter what the symptom is or whatever's at the other end. If you have damage there, whatever's at the other end is going to suffer. If you turn on a garden hose and then go step on it or kink it, the water's going to slow down. Now, if you are relying on that water to water your flowers, grass, trees, bushes, whatever, and you need that constant flow of water, if you kink it, if the hose is kinked, the water's not going to come out. And as a result, you're going to see damage to the flowers, grass, trees, whatever. They're going to die. Now, instead of putting more fertilizer on there or artificial sunlight or changing the dirt, you just have to unkink the hose. Now, maybe that's an oversimplification, but that's really, if you think about it, that's what's going on with Kelly and with so many other people. It's exactly what was going on with me. And so going back, fast forward here back again to Kelly's x-rays, we looked at her spine and we said, we got to fix this because this is what's causing all of your problems. And by fixing and correcting your spine, your body will heal and function at a higher capacity. Your brain will be able to heal and function your body. She's sleeping better. She has abundant energy throughout the day. And again, I mentioned she has 3 kids. So now she's actually able to play with her kids and do stuff with them on the weekends. And she's not run down from work all day. She's getting up. She's exercising more. Now she met with her nutritionist and she's on a nutrition coaching program. She's doing paleo and keto and intermittent fasting and all this kind of crazy stuff. And she's doing incredible. She's got her life back. She literally has her life back. Over the course of a year, she lost almost 60 pounds. It's incredible. So this is the kind of stuff. I'm not suggesting that everybody needs to lose 60 pounds, but when you start by finding and fixing the true root cause of the problem, you are able to do so much more with your life, have the energy, sleep better. It's not just about neck pain or back pain, and that may be what brought you into our office in the first place, and that's totally fine. We're really good at fixing that kind of stuff, but it's not about fixing it or treating symptoms. It's about fixing what's causing the symptoms and allowing your brain to heal and function your body better. Now, again, I've mentioned a few times already that Kelly has kids, 3 kids. And so immediately she's thinking, well, I have no idea how my neck got that way. I was never in car accidents. I didn't play sports growing up. I really have no idea. So she's like, well, what do my kids' spines look like? And so she wanted to have her kids' spines checked, all 3 of them. Now, we made it easy as well because when somebody signs up with us for the first 2 weeks of your care, we actually block off time to make sure you can bring your family in and we charge you nothing. Literally, it's free, complimentary, exam, x-rays, first adjustment, whatever we have to do to find out what's going on. And to be totally honest with you, here's why I do that. Because all the testing that I went through, just for them to tell me that they can't find what's going on, cost me $4,000. The MRI, that was most of the testing. MRI, MRA, CT scan. After my insurance paid its portion, my bill for the doctor's visits and all the testing was $4,000. I was extremely frustrated that not only did I not have any answers, I had no clue what was going on and no real solutions. Now I'm just out $4,000 just for the testing for them to tell me nothing. So I was extremely frustrated with that. And so I don't ever want cost to be any sort of objective hurdle for somebody not to have their family looked at and checked out. Especially now that you know the importance of your spine and your nervous system. That's usually the number one question. The first question we get is, I want to bring my kid in, I want to bring my spouse in. We will charge literally nothing. It costs $0 for you to get your family, your immediate family checked spine, x-rays, nervous system, and if their spine is messed up, we'll even do the first adjustment totally free. So we just schedule that first 2 weeks because we want to make sure we can help families here. We are a family office. Looking at her son, Chase, who was 8 years old at the time, looking at his spine, again, no real reason, had no idea why his spine would have been messed up, especially at 8 years old. But unfortunately, he was on a lot of different medication and he was struggling. He had ADHD, he had had seizures since he was 3 or 4 years old, I believe. And so doctors put him on anti-seizure, antipsychotic drugs. He was always having ear infections. He already after 3 rounds of antibiotics, the next protocol, the way it works is they do tubes in your ears. So we already had the tubes in his ear surgery. Now, again, I'm not saying chiropractic cures ear infections or any of those things, but what I am saying is that the nerves that are coming out through your neck, through your spine, those nerves control everything. Your nervous system controls everything. It doesn't matter what section of the body it is, your brain, your nervous system is under control or in control of every section or part of your body. And so looking at his spine's going the wrong direction. We have no idea how it got that way, but it doesn't matter how it got that way. What matters is that we actually take action and fix it. And so over the course of the next 4 months, we are doing adjustments, correcting the spine. I believe he was coming in twice a week to start with, and then we bumped it down to once a week pretty quickly because he was responding so quickly and so fast. But over the course of 4 months, his spine corrected so much. His body is healing and functioning at a higher capacity, and he's off all of those medications. And again, chiropractic, I'm not treating ear infections or seizures or ADHD or anything else, but what we're doing is allowing your brain and your body to heal and function at 100% capacity. That's how this works. That's why we're so passionate about what we do, because we get to see amazing miracles like this happen every single day in our office. After 11 years and hundreds of thousands of people later, I have thousands and thousands upon thousands of examples. And so I'm just going to skip through a lot of these. And really, the point I want to make here is that it doesn't really matter if it's your neck, your upper neck, your lower neck, your mid back, low back, sciatica, numbness, tingling. It doesn't really matter what the symptom is. If we can identify that the root cause is actually your spine, then we can fix it. And we're not fixing your symptoms, although your symptoms are going to improve and get better. We're fixing the root cause of the problem, which is going to allow your brain and body to heal itself. And so basically you're healing yourself. That's really what this comes down to. Your body can heal itself. We just have to remove the interference and allow your brain and body to do its job correctly. So it doesn't matter if it's scoliosis or hip issues or sciatica issues or whatever the issue is, digestive issues. A lot of things occur when your spine is misaligned, damaging the nerves. And as a result of fixing it, your spine can improve, even young or old. The earliest we adjust, we get this question a lot, the earliest that we adjust, the requirement is that you are outside of the womb and that you have a spine. Those are the requirements to be a chiropractic patient, potentially a chiropractic patient. And so we look at your spine just hours old. I've adjusted babies. I adjusted my own baby within about 4 hours of his birth because his birth was very traumatic. So I adjusted him, and very, very differently than I might adjust you or than I might get adjusted, but it's still an adjustment nonetheless. And so there's a lot of different kind of techniques and styles. Old, young, big, small, tall, short, doesn't matter. We are focusing on fixing the root cause of the issue. Back pain, sciatica, all of those things go away. Even things like a lot of migraines, again, like I went through, electric shock, shooting, a numbness, tingling, carpal tunnel. Fun fact about carpal tunnel, 92% of all carpal tunnel patients have what's called double crush syndrome, which means that they have 2 areas causing the carpal tunnel. And so that is why so many carpal tunnel surgeries fail and people have to go back for revisions or still have pain after their surgery, because most of the time, the problem is coming from the neck. The nerves that come out from the neck, the lower section here, are the nerves that go down the shoulder all the way down to the hands, arms, and the fingers, causing carpal tunnel, electric shock, shooting, numbness, tingling, neuropathy, radiculopathy. All that stuff can be fixed by just correcting the spine. Doesn't matter if the spine's going reverse, allergies, asthma, whatever the cause is or the classification of the headaches and the migraines. A lot of times we were able to help a lot of people, even with really, really bad childhood migraines like I suffered with. We were able to help a lot of people. Doesn't really matter what the issue is. Acid reflux, burning, tingling, mid-back issues, all this stuff can be fixed and corrected in one more x-ray. Looking at the structure of the spine, this is what's called a spondylolisthesis. Basically where the spine shifts forward, that creates spinal stenosis. And so we know, because this gentleman had an MRI to confirm all the findings, L5 disc herniation and spinal stenosis at the level of L5S1. And so we're not treating the effects of what he felt, which is a lot of lower back pain and sciatica, numbness, tingling, burning down the legs and mostly in the calf, but we're just correcting and fixing the spine to take the pressure off. We have decompression tables that help to decompress the discs and open up the spine, and then we shifted and realigned it. A short time later, about 5 months later, his spine was nearly perfect, and then we were able to increase the space here. This space may not be perfect, okay, but it's going to be a lot better. I just want to take a minute to say thank you for watching and kind of following along. Again, it's just a huge passion of mine to help people live the life that they were created to live. You know, in fact, our mission is to help as many people as possible achieve and maintain health freedom. We want to remove all the limitations and restrictions that are interfering with your ability to live your God-given potential, to live up to your full maximum potential and do everything and anything that you want to do in life. And so from my family to yours, we hope to help you achieve your goals and do whatever it is that you want to do. You know, whatever it is that you're coming in for, headaches, back, sciatica, migraines, numbness, tingling, neuropathy, whatever the issue is, we want you to know we are going to get to the bottom of it and figure out what the root cause is. And you know, there's a lot of other stuff that we do and that I'm passionate about. I talked a little bit about nutrition, keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, love stem cells, PRP, laser, body sculpting. But no matter what it is, from a health perspective, we want to look at the body holistically, and we have to start with your spine and your nervous system first, because if that's messed up, your brain will not be able to heal your guts. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please ask, text, call, email, ask me at your follow-up. We'll see you soon.